Aliyekuwa naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua wanaokisiwa kusababisha vurugu wakati wa maandamano ya Gen Z wamefikishwa katika mahakama ya Kahawa kujibu mashtaka. Mawakili wao wakiongozwa na wakili Mungai wamekashifu namna walivyokamatwa na kuzuiliwa. Wawili hao wanatuhumiwa na kuendeleza ugaidi. Hebu tuvuke moja kwa moja hadi katika mahakama ya Kahawa tusikilize.
Article 37. The Article 37 is protected, and you're acting, and the demonstration started at the Article 37. But once they crossed that line, and their action resorted to paragraph A 1 to 4, then terrorism charges began. Terrorism acts began. And I think we've belabored that point. Yona, there were issues that were brought to fore about abductions. And from the word go, counsel for the defense was submitting from the bar. You've been given nothing. Nothing to show that indeed there were abductions.
Your Honor, politely, we reject. I think this is something the public domain, the judiciary itself appreciated the same. So it cannot be from the bar.
And again, I think just again to guide, yes, to have an opportunity to.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your protection. Your Honor, what I was saying before was disrupted by counsel. An abduction is a legal term. You cannot just throw it left, right, and center. And whether that was an abduction or not is subject to a trial. Requires evidence. And what I'm saying is that there was no evidence that was tendered by the defense in support of an allegation that there was an abduction that transpired when the two accused persons were being arrested. They've equally submitted, Your Honor, on section 37 of the CPC, but allow me to take you back to section 21 so that we can move from down up. You know, section 21 gives the police the power to arrest, and the arrest begins at touching. Once you are touched, and then it goes up to confinement. You know, from confinement, then it gets to all means necessary, Your Honor. And from all means necessary, and this depends with the reaction of the person being arrested, Your Honor. Your Honor, the law says that no greater force than necessary may be exercised. So there was an escalation from touch, but there was no all excess force that was used that was necessary, Your Honor, and that is our submission. And if indeed there was, now that becomes subject to trial. The defense or people alleging that more force than necessary were used, then the burden shifts to them to prove that indeed there was more force used than was necessary. So abduction, we submit, is a legal term that has legal interpretation, and what transpired is not an abduction, Your Honor, but an arrest. They've equally, Your Honor, submitted that there were other charges that were facing the two accused persons before this court. Your Honor, with all due respect to counsel, there are no charges that were before any other court in the Republic of Kenya. What they are quoting to you are miscellaneous applications for custodial orders pending charging before any court of law. And that is why they've not presented any charge sheets before this court, because indeed there was none. If they are candid enough, they would admit that what was there was a miscellaneous application.
Naam, bila shaka mtazamaji, ni kesi ambayo inaendelea katika mahakama ya Kahawa ambapo baadhi ya viongozi wameshtakiwa kuhusiana na vurugu ambazo zilikuwa zinashuhudiwa